I've been collecting watches for over a decade now, and I've been running this channel for about 4 years. So from the outside, it probably looks like I know exactly what I'm doing. That's definitely not the case. And honestly, I don't think it is for anyone. I have plenty of regrets and mistakes that I have made. Let's talk about them. Hi guys, my name is Jason and I am your watch guy today. I wanted to fill you in on the 7 biggest regrets and mistakes that I have made on my watch collecting journey and hopefully help you avoid making the same ones or help you learn from them. Before we start, if you wanted to support the channel, a great way of doing that is to subscribe below, leave me a comment, and if you want to go a little bit further, I have my online store linked in the description. I have so many well-priced pre-owned watches on there for you to have a look at. Now, let's get into it. This one hit me pretty hard upon realization once I'd already paid £4,000 for a watch that I thought I couldn't pass up. In 2022, I purchased my first Rolex. It's not really something that I have spoken about much on the channel or at all, to be honest, because it was more of a personal investment, something to put my own money into than anything else. It cost me more than anything I've ever bought outright in the past. And honestly, I expected it to explain to me the entire hype that I've seen around the Rolex world. As collectors, we probably fully understand by now what Rolex is to the market. It is a leader in the industry and it controls so many trends around the watch world. It's pretty insane. So I thought owning one myself would completely convert me into being a Rolex fanboy. It really didn't. And if anything, it pushed me further away from the brand. Don't get me wrong, it's an amazing watch and I absolutely love it. But if I'm completely honest with you, I don't even think it makes it into my top 3 in my collection. My all-time favourite is still my Speedmaster, and that cost me half the money that I had to put into that Rolex. It may have less brand prestige. There's an argument there. I may have to wind it every day that I want to wear it. It may have a Hesalite crystal. I didn't even get it with the bracelet, but I love every single aspect to it, and it's my favorite watch to wear. It's my favorite watch to look at. It's my favorite watch to feature. Even past my Omega, my Zodiac Super Seawolf cost me a fraction of that price. And again, I absolutely adore it, and I prefer to wear it over the Rolex. It was my dream to own these watches. I fantasized over them for years, and that's really where you get the value of buying a high-end watch. It's like having a poster of an Aston Martin DB9 on your wall for years as a kid, and then growing up and being able to afford a Lamborghini. Yes, it's going to be a great experience to own that Lamborghini, but your heart's always going to be in that Aston Martin, isn't it? The money that you pay for these watches doesn't always mean everything. This one's a pretty important one, and honestly, it's pretty self-slanderous. It's really easy to be caught up with the media in the watch game. That being said, reviewers, publicists, and media outlets aren't always completely objective. Beyond that, everyone always has their own taste, and unfortunately, some people also have skin in the game. I can call back to so many instances of that. If a reviewer is being paid by a company to say something good, if Hodinkee are launching their next crap limited edition G-Shock and they throw John Mayer and Ed Sheeran onto the screen to try and push it. And in this case, I personally have a little story time for you. Early on in my YouTube path, I used to follow a reviewer or a watch guy by the name of Paul Thorpe. At the time, he had his hands in being a watch dealer and about 50 other outlets. He liked to give his opinion on the market, on dealers, on watches, etc, etc. He was pretty well known and had a decent stake in the market, even if he now fancies himself as a reformed politician. How that works, I don't know. He was in the watch game. I once challenged them on his opinion of the Zenith Chronomaster Sport release. He claimed that it was a rip-off of the Daytona, everyone should avoid it, the retail price is insane, you'll never see a wait list for it, and if you put your money into this, a few months down the line, you'll see them at outlets being offered for half the price. Plenty of claims that we now know were completely false. But the point of this story isn't that Paul was wrong. That could have been his opinion. However, what is blatantly obvious to me is that he had skin in the game. He was a watch dealer. He dealt in Rolexes. He had investments in Rolexes. Plenty of the people around him had Rolex investments. And therefore, not a word that he said could be believed. One of my favourite sayings to hold on to when I'm listening to people and their opinions is, opinions are like arseholes. Everyone's got one. Most of them stink. Now, I personally try to stay as objective and unbiased as I possibly can, and I know plenty of reviewers that do exactly the same, but there's always a couple. Make sure when you are listening to someone and what they are telling you, you understand what is actually going on in their head and what they're actually trying to put across. This one is pretty universal no matter what watch you buy. When I bought my first luxury watch, everyone had the exact same advice to give me. Take care of it. Don't scratch it. Don't use it in certain situations. Don't take it on a night out. Save it for special occasions. Make sure you get it insured. Now, I'm not saying that they're not good pieces of advice. If you spend a lot of money on a watch, get it insured. It could be a lifesaver. Care for it. Clean it. Get it serviced when you need to. Don't be walking through Camden at 2 a.m. in the morning, drunk, with a Patek on your wrist. That all being said, don't be afraid to wear your watch. If you are going to wear your ass off and save for something that you're going to buy, just as I have, make sure you enjoy it. It does not matter what level of the game you are playing at. Enjoy what you've worked for. Make sure it gives you that little extra bit of happiness when you put it on wrist. My Speedy is the most prized addition to my collection. I wear it on special occasions. I want to remember every single scratch that I put on that watch. That being said, I also wear it for a school run because it adds that little bit of happiness to my day. Don't let it sit in a safe or a lockbox. Don't baby it. You'll hear me tell you all the time that I love to read through your comments. Exactly what you expect someone in my position to say. Yes, it enhances the algorithm, but there is a reason that I go through every single comment and reply in an individual manner, and that's not because I want to boost my content. That's because I love to interact with you. Now, that is because I really enjoy being a part of this community. When I first started collecting watches, I was the only one in my circle. I was the only one in my family that had this interest. My colleagues in work didn't have the same bug as me, even though they were buying and selling watches every single day. One of the biggest regrets that I have is only joining Facebook communities, commenting on YouTube videos and speaking to people after I started my channel, because there's such a wealth of knowledge, helpfulness, advice, and community amongst fellow collectors. Once I started this channel and started interacting with that community, I felt like I found my people, and it just enhanced this entire journey so much. The best way to learn about this hobby is to interact with others. My passion absolutely snowballed, as did my knowledge once I started that interaction. Luckily enough, I think I have got past this part of my collecting journey, even if I have to indulge every now and then to bring you a video that you want to see. But it is definitely something that I think a lot of you get caught up in. Think of any of the past few years' hype pieces, the PRX, the Moon Swatch, or any bloody release from Rolex. Often enough, we have these watches thrust into our faces at every single given opportunity. Unfortunately, sometimes even by myself. The thing to understand is that the media is heavily based on click culture, and we saw exactly what that did with the Swatch release. Crowds of people around the boutiques, a lack of supply, and the inevitable price gouges from resellers. I bought one myself, and that's obviously because this is my job. I need to understand these pieces, and it genuinely was not worth it. The PRX obviously wasn't as much as a fanfare, but how much did we hype them up? So much so that everyone was made to believe that these watches were perfect. They were the messiah of the budget watch collecting world. They just weren't. In fact, after owning 3 myself, I can genuinely tell you it's not the case at all. Don't get me wrong, they're nice watches, but I wouldn't even say that they are the best piece that Tissot have on offer, never mind being the best affordable watch. I'd much prefer a Citizen Soyosa or a Seiko Presage. What I'm trying to get to here is that you should buy watches because you like them, not because a load of people on the internet tell you that you should. It's been a good while since I've gone down this rabbit hole, but this one's still very relevant. Fashion watches are not worth your attention if you are a watch collector. As someone who has been there before, I give the same advice to everyone. If you can skip that step on your journey, you'll be much happier. The first watch that I bought myself with my first real big boy paycheck was an Armani piece. I coincidentally still have that watch, but I don't wear it. I pretty much take it out of the box to remind me where I started. It has loads of sentimental value to me, but that would be the exact same case for anything I bought that day. They are cheap Chinese imported pieces that they stamp their name onto and then sell on for an extortionate price. Genuinely, looking at some of these watches with 3-figure retail prices makes me sick. That's because I know that some poor lad around 18 is going to go pay a quarter of his paycheck for that piece and think it's the best thing since sliced bread until his world comes crumbling around him when he actually meets someone with some basic knowledge in the watch world. If you are watching this video and you are starting out on your watch collecting journey, please, I beg you, look at the likes of Orient, Tissot, any of the budget micro brands that I have mentioned on my channel before. You'll be much happier, and unlike myself, you may actually be able to wear your first watch for much longer. Genuinely, I hear this one way too much. When I tell people what my job is, this is literally the first question that they ask me. And when they say, what watch should I buy as an investment? And I answer them honestly, I look like the arsehole. It's very simple. Do not buy for investment. The very few watches that actually go up in price are insanely hard to get a hold of at retail price. And if you can get it, do you really want that piece being sat in a safe for years to come without any enjoyment at all? That's not how you enjoy this hobby. If you're thinking about investments, go and look at the stock market, look at property, look at a bloody classic car, I don't know. It's not watches. That being said, if you really want some advice about buying watches and not losing money, maybe even making some if you move it on, I do have a very valuable piece of advice for you. You do not make, lose, or keep value when you sell a watch. All of that happens when you buy it. Buy in at the right price. The first luxury watch that I bought myself was a Tag Heuer limited edition numbered piece. Sounds on paper like a great investment. I paid £1,000 for it, and I instantly, as soon as I took it out of the box, lost 40% of that investment. That being said, I have learnt my lesson. I bought my Speedmaster at an incredible price, around £2,000. I know for a fact if I move that on, which I won't, I'll make a nice chunk of money. And that's while I've enjoyed it, I've put memories into it, I have gained an actual enjoyment from that piece. The message you need to take away from this is buy a watch that you love and make sure you buy it at the right price for you. Watch the market a little bit, understand the resale prices, and make sure that your investment goes into the right hole. If you do all of that, even if you lose a little bit of money on resale when you grow out of that watch, you've enjoyed it and you've earned that money back in the enjoyment. Thanks for watching today, guys. I hope those 7 regrets that I had in my watch journey has helped you a little bit, or has taught you something that may help you avoid the same mistakes. Now, I do have a question for you. If you go down into the comments, I want you to tell me if you could give one piece of advice to your younger watch collecting self, what would that be? Remember to subscribe to the channel for more watch related content, and I will see you in the next one.